right, Mrs. Stewart's class, welcome to the library today. Before we get started on your research, we're going to take a minute to review copyright law, why it's important, and what it means to you as you research. It seems so easy. Every day we use technology in some form. We post a picture to Instagram or Snapchat with a cool quote we saw on Pinterest. We comment back and forth with friends on news clips or audio clips or YouTube videos. We're on social media a great deal of the day. But what we post to social media sometimes can infringe on copyright law. It's not purposeful, but if we're not careful in our research, we could be breaking laws. So let's talk some more. That's right. There are laws governing what you can use in your research. In Article 1.8 of the U.S. Constitution, it gives exclusive rights to creators for their writings, discoveries, artwork, sculptures, dance, music, drawings, and many other forms of medium. It gives scientists rights to their discoveries and any creations connected to those discoveries. You're probably beginning to wonder, what am I going to be able to use in my project? I thought, I'm going to write about my favorite musician and I want to play his song in the background while I'm presenting. Well, you may not be able to do that. In fact, you probably shouldn't do that. Playing the entire song will infringe on copyright law. You can only play it if you gain permission. There are some more laws and some more things we need to go over. So let's go on to the next slide. This is Captain Copyright. He is our fearless defender of copyright law. He shared what copyright law means and how it affects us. Basically, if you don't follow copyright law, you can get cited and have to spend some money getting out of trouble. But have no fear, Captain Copyright is here to assist us. So let's take a look at what's protected and then what we're able to use. And copyright gives exclusive rights to copy, distribute, display, perform, adapt, and make new works out of a previous work to the creator. And there are some things that are protected by copyright law. Books, magazines, online articles, songs, plays, choreography, photos, podcast, software, and apps. A lot of things have that magical C inside a circle. That C lets you know that it is protected by copyright law. Beside the C, it'll tell you the date, year, and creator or copyright holder. But even if you don't see that and it's an original work made by someone else, it's automatically covered under copyright law. And now I can see some faces starting to worry, thinking, how am I going to make my presentation the best presentation without the things I wanted in it? Well, we have a few more things that are covered by copyright laws. We're going to review those and then we're going to talk about what you can use. Next, we have logos and taglines. Logos and taglines do not fall under copyright law, but they fall under trademark law. Copyrighted materials and trademark materials all need the permission of the owner to use them. I know you're beginning to wonder, what am I going to use for my research and my final presentation? But don't worry, we have some things and some ways to use copyright and trademarked items in a fair manner. Fair use saves the day. Fair use is much like when we're playing a game. We all want our fair turn, and it applies to copyright in quite the same manner. Fair use in copyright law basically tells us that we can take a small excerpt or part and use it under certain circumstances. And how does this help you? Well, you can't use the entire song by your favorite artist, but you might be able to use a small clip to enhance your presentation. Do you need to get permission? Yes and no. If you wanted to use the entire song, it would be appropriate to write and ask for permission. It's the right thing to do under copyright law. But to use a clip, especially if you find it in Creative Commons under music that's allowed in the public domain, you are able to use it without asking permission. Last, do you need to cite what you use? And the answer is, of course. We always want to give credit where credit is due. If you came up with an amazing idea, developed it, wrote it, and created it, and shared it with people, you would want people to acknowledge your work. In the same respect, we acknowledge the hard work of others and their willingness to share ideas with us. We have some fair use friends. We can use excerpts in news, education, research, parody, and in commentary. Don't forget, parody is when we copy a style, kind of like when you guys make fun of your friends by copying what they say. You are copying the style of someone else. In commentary, we're discussing when we find those things online, such as in a blog post or on a post on social media, and make comments. We can add thoughts or thoughts by someone else in brief parts in those areas. We have some more fair use friends. Ideas, facts, and data are not protected under copyright law. Many people could have the same idea, and until they develop it, it's just that an idea. Facts and data are another thing that don't fall under copyright. Many agencies share facts and data that they've retrieved to support others in their learning and in their research in a fair, free, and friendly fashion. Data is important to us. It lets us know how we make changes and establish money for the different things we have, especially in schools. Data also shows us how well you're doing, or if you might be struggling, it gives us data to help you improve. In the same way as you research and find data, it will help you improve your research. Fair use in the government. The United States government willingly shares everything that it finds. It does not fall under copyright law. The government believes that by sharing the things they research and create, they are establishing areas for the betterment of our country. And so those things are fair use and free. What's available to you as a researcher? If you go to the public domain, you'll find a place that has all of the creative work that is no longer under copyright law or has never been under copyright law. Copyrights on items only last for 70 years, and after that expiration date, you will find items in the public domain. As I said earlier, for those of you who wanted to take a clip from your favorite musician, you can go to a Creative Commons within the public domain and see if that artist is offering a clip of the music for fair use. If they are, you're able to use it. If they're not, then you will need to write a letter to that artist and ask for permission to use it in your research. The United States created the U.S. Copyright Act, and it was originally published in the year 1790. And it's gone through some changes and been updated several times, but the basis of the Copyright Act remains the same. Anything that was created by someone and shared or published is now under copyright. That means you have to ask permission to use all of it. Again, some parts of it fall under fair use. Now, when we begin to talk about copyright, we have some questions that we need to ask ourselves as we begin our research. There are 4 things that allow for fair use, or are questions you should ask before you begin using copyrighted material. Number 1, am I using this for a certain purpose? If your purpose is financial gain, then that does not fall under fair use. You cannot take away the financial means of the creator. However, if you wanted to use it for scientific research, that will not affect the creator negatively and should fall under fair use. 2, is it fact-based? If it is fact-based, then you are more likely to be granted permission under fair use to use a part of it. However, if you wanted to post someone else's entire painting, that is more than likely not fair use, as it takes away from the original creator. 3, how much are you using of the copyrighted material? If it's a small excerpt, most likely it's fair use. But say, for instance, if it's a poem and the poem's very small and you needed to use its entirety or the heart of it, that would not be fair use. And last, how does it affect the copyright holder? If it affects their ability to make financial gain or create more product, then it is not fair use. Remember, friends, copyright law protects us all. It isn't fair to use someone else's creation without asking permission, but there is a kind way to use it, an ethical way to use it. By applying the 4 questions of fair use, you'll know if you can use a part. Research your Creative Commons and find those things that have been placed in the public domain. It's much easier to take from the public domain, but if you really feel the need to use a copyrighted piece of material, be prepared to ask permission if you need to. If you're not sure about fair use or how this fits, just come and ask your teachers. We're here to help you. Remember, it is always better to ask, and we always cite our sources. Now, let's get researching, and remember, apply your copyright law